I'm Jason.
I'm Tedward.
Welcome to the Cobb Founders, episode number 12.
Dose.
No one ever thought we'd do this even more than once. We've done 12 straight weeks.
You've proven everybody wrong.
We have.
So what are we all about?
We drink
We snack.
and we repeat.
So cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you to our sponsor, Good Days Classic Cocktails, here in Georgia. Please visit our handle on Instagram, Drink Good Days, or our website, drinkgooddays.com, to find a retailer near you. Pick it up retailers every day. We had a great event at the Georgia Food and Wine this past weekend.
It's been weeks for you.
Yeah. Got Smyrna World Beverage, man.
Yeah.
I've been dying. It's taken me a year to get in there. Got in there.
You were
finally.
pumped for that yesterday.
Oh, fired up.
Yeah.
Fired up. So
How big a place is that?
it's a big store. It's
Yeah.
like a top 25 liquor store in Georgia.
Nice?
Well, tonight we got a special guest.
Where?
This guy's super famous in the sports world of sports talk. Nick Cellini from 680 The Fan. You've been on other stations. So, Nick, tell a little bit about yourself. You know, like, are you married? You've been arrested? Whatever.
Well, I have not been arrested. I have been married a couple of times. I have a 16-year-old at home. I live in Cobb County. I've been working in the Atlanta media since 1997, as Jason said, for a couple of different stations, done radio, done television. And I guess being around nearly 30 years in the city of Atlanta or any other city just essentially means I'm old.
We'll backtrack. So you went to college where in
Mount Union College in Alliance, Ohio,
That's
just
it.
outside of Canton.
and you played football?
I did. I played defensive tackle my freshman year, and then the last couple of years, I didn't play my senior year, but I played everywhere on the offensive line. I was the utility guy.
No
on
kidding.
the line.
Yeah.
So how much did you weigh back then?
About 260 when I played.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have passed the drug test, but I weighed 260.
But you'd be small in today's standards.
I would have to play a different position nowadays. Yeah. At one point, they're Division III, so at one point, their offensive line on average was bigger than Ohio State's offensive.
No kidding.
Division III athletes now are pretty much the same size as Division I athletes.
Just maybe
Great.
not as talented.
Yes, they're
Yeah.
slower, a little bit. A little bit.
They don't check all the boxes.
No,
Oh.
which is the story of my life. I don't check all the boxes.
Yeah. So would you say you had a good college experience?
I loved it. I was in a fraternity and I was a communications major. So once you get past the electives, if you're a communications
sense,
major and you get into what you love doing, I mean, it was like I was on vacation for 3 years. I stayed an extra semester. I had so much fun.
Nice. So when you graduated, what'd you figure out you wanted to do? Did you
You know-
get right into the business?
Yeah, it was weird because my brother Vince is 8 years older than me, and I just kind of followed his lead. You know, he went to a small school, played football up there in Ohio. He was a communications major. He started off faster than I did. He started off in television, but I would go help him, you know, kind of log tape and everything when he was
Right.
working at the CBS affiliate up in Cleveland. So my first job was at now it's WTAM. It was 3WE at the time in Cleveland, 50,000 watt. Clear channel, so at night, all 50 states and half of Canada. Yeah, it was their big line.
Unlike that first station you worked for in Atlanta.
Yeah, exactly. We did okay for ourselves.
Were you
This
doing
one-
games or you just doing?
I was behind the scenes. I was
Oh, okay.
engineering. We were the flagship for the Indians, as they were known at the time, the Browns, and the Cavaliers. So I kind of worked behind the scenes, and then I kind of started doing some weekend stuff in the mornings. And next thing you know, I was doing updates, and I was kind of the beat reporter for all the teams for about a year and a half. And then I got into television up there.
So not a lot of money.
No, I made $7 an hour, but I will tell you this: it was one of the best jobs I ever had. It was
Fun as hell,
so
right?
much fun.
Yeah.
I had no bills. I had no responsibility. I was still living at home. I was driving a '78 LTD. I mean, it's not like I had car payments.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow. So my wife went to Penn State. She was a journalism major, communication.
Right.
And she worked for a radio station up there, and she thought, oh, this is what I want to do. So when she started applying for jobs, it was like, hold on, nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
Like middle of nowhere, this and that. So she did a pivot, went in the corporate world. But you got to grind it out.
It's a weird thing because I was going to go to law school, believe it or not, and then I got my foot in the door there, and it was almost like I've never done drugs, but I can liken it to the first high that they say you get. That was the way it felt to me when I first walked into that radio station, because it was a radio station that I grew up listening to, and they had a guy named Pete Franklin who did sports talk radio in its infancy back in like the 70s into the early 80s. So I was kind of walking through the halls, and it was something I had to do.
It just automatic
Yeah.
clicked, loved it. So you started up there in Ohio. Been down here 30 years?
96, November of 96.
So you've been here almost 30 years.
Crazy.
So you still were young when you came down here.
29 years old. Yeah.
So was that when you went right to 790?
I went to work at CNNSI. They had
Oh yeah.
sports network, and
sure.
then I came down here, like I said, in November, and then in April, 790 launched, and I started talking to them, and next thing you know, I was on the air there. I was making $400 every 2 weeks, so
Mhm.
I was making about 35 grand working at CNNSI, and I was living with my buddy that worked there with me, so that was my rent payment and it was my car payment. So I was like, man, again, no
I
responsibility.
got it made.
Yeah.
You were living high in the hog.
Oh yeah, it was a big shit.
And you were going, and sporting events you were involved, either going, you weren't paying for that stuff.
No, we had credentials, and then
Yeah.
working there at the time. I mean, it's like the Wild West. There were no rules. I mean,
Mhm.
pretty much, you had open bar tabs wherever you went.
So your brother went TV, your radio. I know you did a little TV.
Yeah.
Like, what's the difference? And is it one harder than the other?
I would say radio. If you can do radio, you can do television, because radio, you think about it. We do
You
a
got to paint the
4 hour.
picture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. We do a 4 hour show, and we don't have a script. We're kind of going back and forth. So, a lot of times you're using a prompter if you do television. I remember when I worked at CBS, I did like a 2.5 minute sports update a couple of times that I didn't use a prompter, and you would have thought I reinvented the wheel, because it's just, you have to continuously talk and fill the airwaves for, 15, 20 minutes at a time. Where
Right.
in television, you essentially just talk in sound bites. To me, it's much, much easier than television.
But I also think I've listened to you for decades, and you and Chris have a great rapport. You guys are like thick as thieves, right? But you make it so easy, and you can go off on a tangent. It doesn't even seem like a tangent.
Right. I mean, and that's kind of the beauty of it. If you have a guy that you have chemistry with, I always say we're like the two old Muppets in the balcony.
Oh yeah.
That's us. We're up there.
That's
They have said that about us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, we have all the answers up here. I say, in this studio, boy, we have all the world's problems solved. Just ask us, we'll tell you.
Yeah.
man.
It's funny.
And that's a job you can do forever,
Absolutely.
and you can spin off. I know a lot of those radio personalities spin off to do their own podcasts and things like that. Do you have a podcast?
I did one for a while called Offensive Interference, but I just decided, you know what? I was coaching my son in baseball, which I'm not doing anymore, thankfully, because
Yeah.
he's going to be 16. But I just I chased it for a while. I was doing TV, I was doing the podcast and all that stuff. And I just kind of said to myself at one point when my son was like 2 or 3, you know what? I want to kind of slow down a little
Good.
bit and spend some time with him. Fortunately, I was able to do that.
I totally understand that. We've known each other on and off. I'm in the beverage business, and I decided not to take jobs because I didn't want to travel back when my kids were young. Just be part of their lives. Coach them, be a shitty coach like I was at times, and I get it. I respect
Our
it.
upward team. Come on.
Well, that was the best.
We dominated.
Upward, yeah. That's our 8A.
That's it.
That was
Yeah.
Our church like hoops, man.
Yeah,
Man.
I coached my son in that. We actually won the league years ago.
Oh, yeah.
About
We
5
did too.
years ago. Yeah.
I mean, we didn't know we were stacking the team back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
It was weird in that league because it's a church league. Like I was an assistant coach, and I would clap a lot, and the coaches.
Stars you get.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Christ-like.
We got to talk to him quite a bit. Yeah.
absolutely.
Enough, coach. That's enough. Sit down.
All I'm doing is clap.
And then, I would drop the F-bomb.
Oh yeah, I never went that far.
Well, I mean, I'm actually.
But you won, so that's all.
We did.
The Bob Knight of the league.
Winning is
We
fun,
ran that place.
but the
Yeah.
kids had fun. That's what it's all about. They actually wanted to keep playing.
Right.
So that's the whole point. When they're young,
Yeah.
you want to keep it fun for them, not make it like it's brutal.
And they're still friends today. Oh, most of those kids on our
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
That's how my son is with baseball. The kids have known each other since they were 5, and now they're pushing 16.
Where's he playing baseball?
He is playing right now. He's playing at Sandy Plains. We played out of East Marietta for years.
Ted knows baseball.
Oh,
really
yeah.
well.
Yeah,
Sure.
so we played at Sewell Park for a
Mhm.
long, long time. His travel team was Spikes. The last couple of tournaments we played in, we finally turned the corner. We took a beating for a couple of years, but we worked with the kids, and they all slowly but surely got better. That's the best part about it. Right?
Yeah.
The kids in the beginning, you're not sure which kids are going to be good, and then all of a sudden the light goes on for them, and then like I said, we ended up winning a couple of tournaments. So
That's fun.
and,
He
and
still
the
likes it.
friendships- Yeah, he still likes it. The friendships are the thing. But I just, at the risk of sounding like the guy who's yelling at clouds, the old man, a lot of times today you just can't coach kids as hard
Yeah.
anymore. My son said it. He said, "You can't yell at us like Grandpa yelled at you because we're soft." I said,
Mhm.
"Boy, that's the most poignant thing you've ever said."
They fully admit it too.
Right? Oh yeah, they know.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
know.
What's crazy is that when somebody else yells at your kid, it's coaching.
Yep.
When you yell at your kids, yelling.
He literally
They look at you like, you're the most
Yeah.
evil person on the planet. But a coach,
Yeah.
another coach could say the same thing to him. It's like, yes, coach. Yes, coach.
Absolutely.
So he's turned 16.
He'll be 16 in May. He wants a car. He doesn't have one yet.
Does he
but
work?
Wants one. No, I
Still
said.
got that 78 LTD?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to give him.
Does he have good grades?
They come and go.
Nice.
Does he want a car? Does he want to learn how to drive?
Yeah.
Is he driving now?
He drives and he wants a car, and yeah, I have a Kia Telluride and it's getting fixed right now, so they gave us a loaner. They gave us this Kia Sportage. He goes, man, I like this car. Can I get this car? I said, yeah, you want a brand new Sportage? Sure. Why don't I get you two of them
Yeah, right.
while I'm at it? This like I drove a 78 LTD when I was in high school. We had a like 79 Ford Granada. It was green, pleather seats, AM radio, but you know what? I didn't care. It got me from point A to point B.
Exactly.
I don't think my son would drive that car.
Yeah.
I really don't think he'd drive it.
I just wanted an opportunity to do what I wanted.
Yep.
I didn't care what it was or this and that. So different generations.
Oh,
now. I mean, it.
Well, be careful out there. We had a run-in yesterday with a student driver.
Oh my
We
God.
almost got sideswiped.
Really?
And he was in the driver's ed car, which meant the instructor was in the car with him.
Right.
And he just pulled out across 3 lanes of traffic and almost sideswiped me. And I'm laying on the horn. I didn't realize it was a student until the very end. And I was like, oh, I hope I didn't scare that kid. But then he changed lanes and almost hit somebody else. I'm like, what's this instructor doing here?
Yeah, the instructor usually they have that brake on their side. At least I know I did.
I would expect that the instructor would have been, giving it to him, but no, they were just, doing their thing.
Class yet?
He is not yet. No.
Oh, so the insurance.
Yeah.
Car insurance is going to be high.
Yeah.
I got a broker if you need something.
Yeah,
Shop
please.
around. He's a good dude.
Got a guy.
I got two guys. I got a
Good.
guy from Allstate, and then I have an insurance broker.
More guys, the merrier.
Because you know what? It's expensive.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
Doesn't matter if you don't add a car, we just add him.
Mhm.
You're gonna be like,
Well, I told him if you're not playing any sports, I think he wants to play sports more so because he doesn't want to work. I said,
Yep.
if you're not playing anything, then you're going to have to work to pay for your insurance or pay for something because
Sure.
you can't just. It's not a free ride. You're not,
Yeah.
This isn't NIL. You're not on scholarship.
Yeah, right.
You know,
it's
That's another thing the kids don't do these days. We all had jobs.
absolutely.
I've been working since I was 14 years old.
While I was playing sports.
While I was playing.
I
Yeah,
worked
exactly.
full time. I worked 30 hours a week in high school playing sports.
Yep.
But you know what? I'm okay with. My dad's like, yeah, get on your money, man. I can't give you.
Yep.
He called allowance. We call commission in our
Yeah.
family.
Mhm.
Like you do the work, you get paid.
Yep.
It's the same thing. So, and there's plenty of jobs. It's just lack of people wanting to go work.
Oh, there's no doubt.
I
Yeah.
mean,
You want to work? It's out there.
Publix. I mean, you don't have to work in food, but my kids work at Chick-fil-A. It was the best job. Kind of helped a good foundation. Well, that's good. Is he chasing girls?
Kind of a couple of girls here and there. He hasn't really turned that corner yet. His friends are all chasing girls at this
Does
point.
he have any game?
No. These kids, I listen to. It's amazing. And if you have kids,
Oh yeah.
I listen to them when I drive them around. They're so, especially boys. They're so dumb.
Mhm.
It's amazing how dumb.
Well, we were dumb,
Right,
but we were more, I think, aggressive about
Right.
going about it.
Well, now they just want to text it. They can
That's
hide
it.
behind their phones. We didn't have that luxury.
No.
We had to. If you wanted to meet a girl, you had to go talk to her.
you remember
And
that?
you had to meet her parents.
Yeah,
And you had to
that's
go pick her up.
Oh,
All that
my
stuff
God.
that went along with it.
Go to the
Nowadays,
knock
it's
on the
just
door.
Or hang on the door.
whatever they call it. And they're just texting each other back and forth. And
Well, I remember when my son was high, I'm like, he's like, he's going to ask the girl out by text. I'm like, no, you have to go through that feeling, your stomach churning, this and that. The excitement, but also, oh my gosh, she could say no. It's like the rite of passage. Sure. And that's the phone is taking that all out of play.
And among other things, I mean, I don't think. I mean, we kind of keep an eye on what he does, but it's. And I've heard stories about the sexting and all that stuff. I think it's a family,
yeah.
family podcast.
We're good.
It's-
But that's normal.
We're moving faster, man.
They're
We
moving
used-
way.
We used
too
to
fast.
look for those squiggly lines on the
Oh, yeah,
television.
no
Now
doubt.
It's right there.
Oh my God. Yeah, Playboy,
Sure,
baby.
yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, the cable. Look.
yeah,
Right.
you get that free preview. For
Oh my God, I saw
yeah,
something there.
you're hoping something was on.
I think I saw something.
Yeah.
Actually, that was a card.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, cool. Well, you have an older son.
Yes, my oldest is 31.
And so where does he live?
He lives on the west side of Cleveland. He's actually
Police?
he works. He was a police officer. Now he works for Metro Parks.
Mhm.
He's a park ranger.
Is he married?
He is not married, but I think he's on the verge of getting engaged.
And then, so your brother Vince lives close by.
Yeah, we live in the same neighborhood.
Oh, he lives right
Yeah,
where there.
yeah.
Don't you have another?
My oldest brother
Yeah.
had restaurants down here. He actually started Steve Marino's in Athens way back in '73, and he got back together with his high school sweetheart. Moved back up to Cleveland, so he's back up there. I think he's nuts for dealing with the weather up there. And then my sister, she lives here as well. She lives in Ackworth.
Okay, not too far, but no restaurant business anymore.
No more restaurant business. No.
Yeah.
That's a grind, man.
Oh,
I wouldn't. I love to cook. I love food,
Yeah.
but no chance I'm doing
he
that.
had to live there. I mean,
Yeah.
essentially, if you own a bar or a restaurant, my dad ran a bar.
Yeah.
You have to be there all the time. I mean,
Yep.
you literally
Yeah.
have to be there because people are going to steal.
Yep.
They're going to steal anyway. If you're not there, they're really going to steal.
It's
Yeah.
funny. I was just talking to a guy, and a guy owns a convenience store. And I'm like, what do you lot for shrinkage? I call it theft. It's like, probably like 4%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to just factor it in.
Yeah.
You know what's going to
And
happen.
it's like either the consumers are doing it, patrons, or it's staff.
Yep.
So, it's tough. But you know what? We don't have to worry about that. I don't do that. What do you got? Got something?
I'm gonna. You just reminded me about something for my heater moment later, so it's
All
fine.
right.
Don't worry.
All right, so we're gonna jump in. March Madness, right?
Yeah.
7 out of 7 teams, the SEC still in. And now they got a lot of shit because they had 14, and the teams that were under 500 basically in the conference are out.
Right.
You think they deserve 14?
I mean, yeah, it's the toughest conference, and everything's cyclical. And as of right now, they're the best conference. And everybody kind of gave the SEC a hard time, as you said, when the first 6 went out on opening weekend. But now you got 7 in there, and you look at that conference, and you look at every other conference. How would every other team that's being represented, including Duke, how would they do with the ins and outs of the SEC? I mean, people are tired of hearing about it. But my thing is, if they hate you, then you must be doing something.
Yeah, right.
You
Exactly.
know what? A little amazing thing is SEC's known for football, right? But all the big schools that are really good at football are now basketball contenders. And I think you mentioned that night. Why? Why do you think so?
Well, because the football's bringing all the money, and they got money to dole out to kids for NIL.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's all packaged together, and they can bring in whoever they need to. Look, UConn, big UConn guy. UConn's got 3 All-Americans coming next year. McDonald's All-Americans. 3. How does that happen? Well, that happens for one, you got a good program, good coach, but more importantly, you're probably paying these kids what they want, because they can go anywhere they want.
Absolutely.
Now they're all free agents, right? So they have to really love the school, and of course they're from like Wisconsin and California. They have no connection to the Northeast.
But Stores is a big part of it.
It is. Yes.
As strange as that may seem for those that have never been, I heard
Yes.
it's massive.
It is. It's freezing, bitter cold in the winter.
You have to.
Oh, it's brutal.
You have to.
Yeah.
So, so far, who surprised you? Or is there anybody really surprised you yet?
I mean, I think Maryland's kind of a surprise.
Mhm.
And Tom Izzo, when you look at what he has done, I shouldn't be surprised because it's Tom Izzo. But
Yeah.
no first team or second team, all Big Ten, but they're a top 5 defense. He gets those guys. It was almost like when Mark D'Antonio was the head football coach there.
Yep.
You get those guys that weren't quite good enough. He would get a lot of Ohio guys and say, you get to play Ohio State and you get to beat Ohio State and ruin them. And I think Izzo does the same thing. You get those guys that are just a notch below, but
Gets the
buy
most out of it.
yeah, and they buy into that system. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean that's the team that, especially after they lost to Michigan, another surprise. I mean that Coach May, what he has done at Michigan, he leads Florida Atlantic to the Final Four. This team won 8 games last year, dead last in the Big Ten, and now they're on the verge of going to the Elite 8. I mean,
who,
I don't think they're going to beat Auburn.
Michigan's played
They got
Auburn,
Auburn,
right?
yeah. I think it's going to end for them, but the fact that they're here is amazing.
But Auburn's kind of got a tough road here.
They do. I think for what they drew, absolutely. Michigan and Michigan State, right?
Yeah.
Left. I mean, it's like, oh. So,
But you can't sleep on even home. Is it Ole Miss? I mean, they win.
Coach Beard's hell of a coach. He's another guy. Wins wherever he goes.
So I think I have who's the easiest path right and left? I think Duke, right?
I think so. Yeah.
If we think Duke's for real. I mean,
I think-
what's his face is unbelievable.
Sure. Yeah. And I think that we've put behind him the injury question.
Yeah.
Like going into this, I was like, I'm going to still pick them in some of my pools, and I still think that they can win. Obviously, they win without him. They won the ACC without him. But, now I've seen him play, and I'm like, he's good. Right. That was just
And that woke him up. I think they needed that moment to galvanize the rest of them. Because when he got hurt, they were playing Georgia Tech. And they weren't playing very
No.
All of a sudden,
Yep.
they stormed through the rest of their tournament.
I mean, UNC though, it's been up and down for me with them. I was the first guy on the to just trash them.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have been in, right? 1-12 and Q1 wins, right? I mean, I was like, come on. The chancellor on the committee.
Bubba Cunningham.
It's like, come on, Bubba, really?
Like
So-
Charles Barkley said, you never trust a man named Bubba.
Yeah, exactly. So they get in. I bitch about it, right? And then they just demolish San Diego State first round. And we did the podcast the next night, and I wore a blue shirt,
To give him a little
props. It's like, all right, I'll shut up now. And
But then they lost.
and then they did. Yeah. So I mean, but that's
Well, that's the thing. Those the blue bloods.
Yep.
They're not the Blue Bloods anymore.
No, but you want the big schools in there. There's a reason why. I think I saw the number the other
The
day.
viewership,
Yeah, highest viewership
was through the
in
roof
32
this time.
years.
Yep.
Because you
Good.
want the recognizable names, the recognizable. We love Cinderella until we don't love Cinderella.
Yeah.
Because once you get to this point, I think that you want the Blue Bloods in there.
Yeah.
Or the recognizable teams and names.
Yeah. Well, there's certainly a lack of upsets this year, right? If you look at the top 4 seeds in each of them, other than St. John's now, they're the only one who's out, I think, right? There were 2 seed that I mean, Maryland almost lost.
Right.
That was a great game. I watched that.
Is that a travel or not?
Yeah. So one angle, absolutely. When he did it, I was like, well, he just traveled.
I thought, yeah.
But I saw the different angle from the side, and it does look like he got hit a little bit and
Gotcha.
lost control of the ball,
Yeah.
recaptured it, and then 1-2.
Because all the officials, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess they stick together, but they all
Sure.
said it's not a travel. But to me, it's like, I don't know what the Euro step and everything else is. Like, I don't know what a travel is anymore.
No.
I don't know what
Well,
targeting
they
is
don't
anymore.
call it in the NBA.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
But I'm with you. When I saw it live, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, shit, he traveled.
right away. And then, but maybe you're right. I haven't seen that.
But I also said that was for a freshman especially.
Oh, yeah.
What a shot. He's fading away. You're going towards the baseline. Your angle of attack is shrinking rapidly and banks it in. You know, I was like, Owen and I were like,
It was
you
sick.
got to be
I
kidding.
know. I saw it. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree. Maryland. We talked about earlier a couple podcasts. Maryland and Michigan State. We keep an eye on them. They might be a team that could.
We kept talking about St. John's, but look, it took their worst shooting night ever, right?
But look, the numbers for that game, guys, coaching against each other. Like, Laurie knows every trick Patino does, and vice versa. And
On and off the court.
Yeah, exactly. There wasn't just a little tension there. There was a lot of tension there. All the pregame stuff that they were saying.
now it's legal. Like for them, those guys are going to continue to be better.
Oh, yeah.
Because they can go and pay people and do whatever they were doing.
This is what they've been
illegal.
waiting for.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they're in their 70s, right? So they're probably going to be like, they're going to pull a Saban at one point, just be like,
Patino does not want to ever stop until he dies.
Yeah.
It seems like he's just, and Georgia could have got him.
really? I didn't know that.
2 years ago.
Huh.
Yeah. But he was too much baggage.
Right.
Wow. Yeah.
But wins kind of.
Yeah, it makes you forget real quick, right? About, the restaurant thing and all the other,
Yeah, look at all the coaches.
Yeah.
Chris Beard, the guy from Florida had some problems.
Yep.
Graham. I mean, Kelvin Sampson. These guys all have skeletons, Calipari in their closet. But when you win, you get other chances.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other note. You just need all these old coaches who are performing well, and they're kind of old school, and somehow those kids are listening to them.
Yep.
Which is rare. I think, another reason why Saban walked away is kids didn't want to listen to him anymore.
No, look what Kirby said. You can't yell at him anymore. You can't coach him. Yeah. Goes back to what we were just talking about. Kirby said the same thing. They're not being receptive.
They're soft. They've been catered to since they've been this big.
Right.
I mean, we all played rec ball, right?
Right.
I mean, I never played a travel.
Yeah, there wasn't any travel when we were
But
kids.
you wanted to be on your high school team
Right.
because that was the cream of the crop. Now, high school teams are okay. Let's say like South Georgia, they're really good. But I mean, look at the basketball team at Hillgrove. Your son played, but everybody, the good players played on a club team. It's kind of ruined it. Paying money to go play fucking sports.
Yeah, I mean, my son played AAU and I didn't like it. I mean, there's no team concept to it at all.
No, you're giving a kid a jersey in the parking lot, half the time they're rolling in, and everybody's scattered.
It's like little things. It's like, we don't play. It's like these kids, they don't know each other.
Yeah.
So you're out there and you're trying to have these kids play man to man, not to get too deep into the X's and O's. If you're not communicating with one another, you can't play man to man. I said, you got to play a zone. No, we don't do that.
Yeah.
In this system, I go, well, maybe you want to think about it because there's no
defense,
right.
though.
Nobody plays defense.
Sure.
As much as
They want to showcase themselves, and nobody's going to showcase themselves on defense other than a shot block, right? Or if you're getting 10 steals a game. Other than that, you're out there to score.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well,
It was frustrating.
one of my favorite players in the NBA, and I watch a lot of it, is Dyson Daniels. That kid plays D. I mean, that kid is ridiculous.
The Great Barrier Thief.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's led the league in steals by a huge margin.
And it's all effort. Defense, it's just about, and then we go back to Tom Izzo. He gets those kids to grind and play defense. And that's why if you play defense, no matter what the sport is, you're always going to be the game.
Yeah.
Always.
Well, him and Maryland plays decent.
Yeah.
defense.
Houston is
Arkansas.
relentless.
Arkansas play good defense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's which is unusual for Calipari because he's usually more of an offensive-minded coach.
I think Houston, they've been doing it for years now, but this might be their year.
He's done a hell of a job.
Yeah.
What was the stat you told me about the teams that are left?
All right, so of the 80 potential starters that are slated to start the in the elite or the Sweet 16. 36 of them were transfers. 35 were on the team last year, and 9 are freshmen. So I mean, half of the non-freshman players weren't on that team.
Yeah, that's why the mid majors are gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Mid majors.
There is no mid majors left.
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
So the top 4 seeds, right, and everybody else. Who was the only upset this year? I mean, literally, the McNeese won. They were 12. Arkansas won. They were 10. I can't think of another one.
Yeah, I mean, look at
Where were the 13s and 14s that we've seen the last few years? None this year.
St. John's,
Yeah.
Auburn, Florida. Look at all of the transfers that comprise those rosters. I mean, they're rating the smaller schools. Even Patino said it when the season was still going on. He said, "I'm not recruiting any high school kids to the
I
portal."
heard the other day. He goes, I used to recruit 8, 9 freshmen. Now it's 2 or 3.
Yeah, Coach Cal.
He's built for that. I mean, I'm telling you, Patino is going to continue to build that program as long as he wants to be there.
They already took that kid from Arizona State, one of
Yeah.
the top kids in the portal. They got him St. John's today.
Yeah. So that's another thing. Maybe that should be a heater moment or one of them. It's like, why are we opening the portal during
Season's over.
There's a kid on one of the Sweet 16 teams that's still alive. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, Pippin's kid.
Yeah, Pittman's kid. Exactly.
Right?
Where's he going?
He entered the portal, and
Yeah.
they're still alive. They're playing this weekend.
Does he play? Does he play?
Potentially could leave. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, that if you know you're going, I mean, this is your opportunity to get into the portal.
Yeah, you got it,
It's
right?
opened on Monday,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Well, it's the
Nuts.
same thing for football, college football. The portal's open.
Yeah.
I mean, they're always
During
recruiting.
bowl season,
They're
yeah.
always recruiting. I don't know how long that's sustainable, though.
I don't know how long a lot of this is sustainable because if you talk about tampering, how do you prove tampering? If somebody reaches out to a high school coach who then reaches out to a friend who then reaches out to the family, I mean, there's a million different ways you can do this, and there's not going to be a paper trail.
Mhm.
And I don't know.
and they can just follow each other
Yeah.
on their Twitter accounts,
Right.
their Instagram accounts, etc.
Well, the NCAA is toothless, so they're not.
I think eventually the big conferences, the 5, whatever you want to call it, they're going to just pull away
Absolutely,
because it's just going to be far more money for them.
absolutely.
I think we're closer to that than we think.
I think by the time, so the new television contract comes in, 5 years from now? So I think once that new contract rolls around, you could see that very well happen. You're absolutely right.
That's the other thing I want to bitch about. How many different streaming services I got to have to watch
My
sports
God.
now?
Yeah, it's,
Yeah,
I'm too old for that. In the old days when they had 3 channels in UHF.
that's it.
And the friggin' the rabbit ears.
Yeah.
Put the tinfoil on, man.
Yeah,
It's like, how do you watch the tournament? All right, do I have that one?
right.
Okay, or you have Max if you don't have regular. I mean, you need a fucking abacus to keep track.
Yeah, enough is enough.
So you still think top 4 going? Like is anything changed your mind about who's going to win?
I think in my bracket I have Houston beating Auburn. So I'm one of those people that went with the chalk.
Yeah.
Auburn reminds me a lot of Ohio State in football. Ohio State would always play down to the level of their competition,
Mhm.
and then somehow they would wake up and pull out games at the end. And a couple of their players even said the same thing. I mean, we got to stop doing this, or it's going to come back to bite us.
Yeah.
So you keep saying Auburn's going to slip.
I do, and I still think that. I still think they're going to be the first 1 seed out, right? And they almost did this weekend,
Yeah.
right? So I mean,
They were sleepwalking in that first half.
they sure
That's
were.
right, and that's
Yeah,
for sure.
and Florida almost lost to UConn, but we're not going to talk about that.
That's
But
different.
That's different. That's different. But yeah, I still think just because of the way that they don't communicate well, I don't think they seem to be argumentative with each other all the time. They're constantly going back and forth, with Pearl on the bench or with each other. There's too many bosses, too much, I'm not feeling it for them. And the way they played down the stretch kind of limped in. Again, they still deserve the 1 seed, no problem with that, but I don't think they're going to.
Team, and I do like their coach, even though I kind of like his fire and he's slob, which is great. I do think they could slip up. Of course, I'm a homer. Bama's still in it. Bama wins and Nuke wins.
You're right about that. Nobody's talking about Alabama.
I mean,
They're kind of flying under the radar.
They sure are.
and the reason being because they kind of limped in the last part of
Yeah.
the season, and
Well, they played second fiddle to Auburn. I mean, their cousin there the whole time,
Nice
right?
against Auburn.
Yeah,
they beat them though.
Oh, I know,
Yeah.
I know. But I mean, we
Yeah.
we heard so much about Auburn this year that we didn't hear as much about.
And Nate Oates doing a good job. I wish Alabama played more defense at times. They like to shoot the lights out. I mean, they second in scoring this year. They had a lot of guys come back though, specifically to try to win a championship.
Right.
They could have went. Sears could have left. Nelson could have left. The kid that went from South Florida decided to come to Bama, Youngblood. So at least they got some young talent. They're not going anywhere. Like he's going to be a perennial Sweet 16 team, but they are in the radar. But I mean, I watch every game. They can be the best team in the country
Sure.
at times. At times, they like any team, we fall apart. But I think if they do play Duke, that might be one of the best games of the tournament.
But they're gonna be on the same side in the Final Four with Houston, correct?
Yeah.
What happens there, right?
Well, they also
The defense from Houston versus the offense from Bama.
They also say this BYU game
Yes.
against Alabama might be the game thus far at the tournament.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah,
solid.
you got two great offensive
Yep.
teams there.
Yep.
I think they're number one, or I think they're 1 and 2. The
Yeah.
top
Yeah.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
But again, what conference is BYU in? Please help me out.
I think. Don't hold me to this. Mountain West, the Big 12. I can't either. Ever since UCLA and Southern Cal went to the Big 10, everything in my mind has been in a state
Yeah.
of flux.
Or SMU in the ACC.
I don't think it makes sense anymore.
Yeah.
They might be in the Big 12.
They might very well be
Yeah.
in the Big 12.
That sounds right.
I mean, probably should have known that answer, but
I think that's correct.
Don't-
Yeah.
they keep
I
changing.
feel like I said, it's
Anyway.
confusing.
But hey, so Ted says that the best time of the year is when the clocks spring forward.
Yep.
March Madness. What else?
Livid this week. And again, this is why I shop at Publix. Okay. I did not go to Publix because I was getting some Chinese food rolled into Kroger, right? Okay. And I don't have a problem with Kroger per se, but it was dinner time. There were still plenty of people in there shopping. Not a single lane open other than self checkout, right? So, and not only is it self checkout, right? But you got to go in, and if you got produce, you're typing the shit in.
Right.
And you're going through the thing and you never get it right. Then the girl comes over to check my ID because I got beer, right? And there's like 6 kids up front, right? These kids we're talking about, the ones who don't really want to work.
Mhm.
And they're playing grab ass and they're, just doing whatever the hell they're playing on their phones. They're having a great grand time up there. And I'm just sitting, me and like 4 other, boomers are back here going, I'm like, what the hell are we doing? Then it rolls down the aisle and you got to go down there and then, bag your own shit. And nobody wants to lend a hand. I'm thinking to myself, couldn't you just open 2 aisles? If there's 6 people in a checkout lane and all those self-checkouts are open, I'm still going to the checkout lane.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm like, screw. I mean,
Unless I just have a couple of things, then I'll scoot through.
It's not this. If we're going through checkout, give me a
Yeah.
5% discount.
Yeah.
right, exactly. I'm basically an employee of your store now, right? So yeah, I hate to sound like a boomer, guys down the clouds and whatnot, but that one really struck me because I was like, there's 6 kids in there. One kid, I remember, he kept saying, when do I go on break? When do I go on break? I'm like, break from what?
Right.
What are you doing? You're standing.
Your life is a break.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, can somebody please tell me what this code is that I can't punch in here?
Right.
And then, of course, it wouldn't take my card and all this other shit. I'm just like, I gotta get out.
Then they come over there and sigh.
Yeah, I put them out for coming
I
over and out.
apologize that I'm asking
Yeah.
you.
So yes, that's my hater moment. I can't stand it. Please, this Publix, at least our Publix, does not have self
Not
checkout.
yet.
Not yet. Are they gonna? I hope not.
A lot of them are doing.
I'm going to continue to patronize those stores and those places that do not have it, because Home Depot's done the same thing. Our Home Depot.
Oh, and that whole
Like-
pisses me off. I've got big old lumber, this and that, and I'm like, I gotta scan this myself. And they got 1 million people right there.
Yeah.
Like, come over and help.
Yeah.
Bring the lanes back.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, well, you know who does it right on
Yeah.
the self checkout? It's Costco. They
Right.
had someone there helping you, this
Yeah.
and that. You're doing it yourself. I'm like,
Right.
But they're there to get you in and out right.
They're
Yeah.
super efficient.
The only thing I don't like is you can't bag your stuff, so it's kind of
Yeah.
like you have to be.
You got to get the boxes.
You have to be MacGyver.
When you're
You come in, you
when
go
you're shopping, yeah. Or when you're shopping, you go to the end caps
Yeah.
and grab a box or
Yeah.
2. Always do that. Yeah.
And since you talked about Kroger, the worst one about the self checkout, because this retailer has 20 lanes, is Walmart.
Oh yeah.
And when you go in Walmart, there's 2 open now, and you're forced to go to the self checkout, and those lines are backed up. And yeah, that's why I don't patron their coffin.
What did a comedian a long time ago said? The difference between Walmart and Target is Walmart is Target, but it's just sad.
Yeah. Right.
But it's true. Wade.
Yeah.
I mean, Target does a good job.
Yeah.
They keep it clean, easy.
Yep.
I mean,
Well, it's like Publix. I mean, my wife said, but
We
you pay
pay
more.
more,
I'm like,
we do.
I know I do, but you know what? I don't have to deal with
It's
this
worth
bullshit. Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
well, and you can cherry pick Publix.
Yeah.
Buy on what's on sale and
Well,
things like that.
Then she throws at me. She goes, well, Lidl and some of these other ones, they're also,
I like Lidl.
self checkout or
Lidl has someone sitting in their chair.
But you
guys
know what
gotta
you
bag
get.
everything.
But you know what you get.
Pricing.
I don't have an expectation that they're going to help me because I know what the drill is, right? But when I go to some place like Kroger, I'm like, are you kidding me?
all these like Walmart for me. It's sad.
Yeah.
I feel like I've taken a wrong turn in life when I go.
I wish we had a Trader Joe's on the side.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
But whatever. The food We got to get it.
Yeah.
It's expensive. We get a lot of stuff from Fried Market.
Where's that at?
It's an online retailer,
Oh, no kidding.
and it's cheap.
Never heard of that.
It's great. You can get a lot of things. We got our box today.
Huh. I keep seeing this like I'm not gonna say that's not spoiled food, but it's like one-offs, like where the package
That'd be
is
perfect for
damaged
you.
or like it's not
Yeah.
cut right. It's like
It's like that farmer's market.
it is like the farmer's market over there, but this is an online one where you can order these like kind of seconds or whatever.
The sandwich has a bite out of it, but I don't think it's still. Yeah, I think it's still good.
Right. The milk's not open. Somebody took a hit off it, but
Someone got thirsty, but here,
Right,
I mean,
right,
it's
right.
$2 off.
But those keep popping up, on my accounts and stuff, and I'm like,
Never had one. Now I probably will.
Yeah.
Have you been to the farmer's market across from NC?
I have. Yeah.
Now their
That's wild, man.
wings are like slightly off, but
Right.
you and I can't tell.
Right.
So cheap. I
all
bought
the meats
seafood
there.
there.
Yeah, seafood
Yeah.
there. I get shrimp there every single time, so I'm like,
The shrimp is the best
Yeah.
price.
and you go through the spice aisle and not know what planet you're on. You're like, what are all these things?
Right.
Or the produce, you're like, never seen that, but it's a wild. I love it.
Do you like spicy?
I do.
Wing place. What's your favorite place to go get wings?
Oh gosh, I haven't gotten wings in so long. Oh wow.
If you were gonna,
I used to love Taco Mac,
Yeah.
but like a lot of different places, the quality has really dropped off.
I agree. We went there last night, unfortunately. I like $3 Cafe.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And don't sleep on Cluck and Moo.
No kidding.
Yeah.
They're hot.
Okay.
They got good burgers, but their wings are pretty solid.
Yeah, they're good.
What do you?
I mean, I'm worth $3
Yeah.
twice a week.
I wish they
Right.
put one of those out here.
Yeah. Well, there's one at the up at the.
I don't know.
I work closer to Barrett up there, so we go to like I said, twice a week. Probably we're at that $3.
What happened with Taco Mac? Didn't somebody buy them for a
Well, they
while?
bought it back.
Right, and then they bought it back. Yeah.
Well, and I've been in the beer business, been great supporters that way. They changed their chip supplier on what they do for their dip,
Mhm.
and their wings are considerably smaller than.
Yeah, that's what I noticed.
It's just disappointing, because you're paying a lot more than
Sure are.
and they got plenty of beer, but I don't even drink that much beer anymore. All right, snack. So what do you got here?
It's interesting that I have Virginia peanuts with Santa Claus on covered.
Those are fresh. Huh?
And I'm going to tell you that we've had these in the house for my daughter got it.
There's mold on it.
Yeah, that's all right. It's like the farmer's market.
Exactly.
Shake it off.
Right.
We have like 20 cans of these in the house, so I'm working through. This is like the 4th can.
Was this a gift?
I think so. It was like a nut of the month club.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I got some peanuts and
All right, we have to try. We rate each snack each week.
These are Virginia peanuts. Is that the brand, or they're actually from the state of Virginia?
no, they're Virginia. Well, they might be. I don't know.
Yeah.
Good peanuts, nice salt.
Yeah.
Like lightly
Not
salted.
too much.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You like peanuts.
I love peanuts.
We go to a Braves game. We demolish.
I just bought some at Kroger that day. I'm talking about, the bags of peanuts.
It's funny you say that at Braves teams. Like I will go through a massive bag of peanuts every time I'm there.
You
You
have
have
to. It's so much fun.
You have to.
It's even more fun. I mean, you get a nice. I get to go with him he's got company tickets. We
Right.
go in the Chop House. We get a little credit,
Right.
this and that, and then sometimes he buys me everything. It's
Yeah.
really nice.
Mhm.
All right, we rated 1 to 5. You can do decimals. What was your rating, Nick?
What the peanuts?
Yeah.
I don't know, 2.5.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a tough grader though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're so hard on that.
I'm gonna give it a 3.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean,
You guys are kind.
Yeah.
well, I mean,
I'm not much of a snacker. That's the problem.
Ooh.
Either I'm
Oh,
gonna put
we're
on
big snackers. Yeah.
Either I'm going to put on the feed bag or I'm not going to eat it all. So
Yeah.
that's with me. If I would have bought chips in here, I wouldn't have heard anything you were saying
Mhm.
because I would have consumed the whole bag.
Yeah.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
which we would have loved
Yeah.
those chips. too.
Anybody have any
But, hey,
salsa?
I'm still gonna eat some of these.
Go
chips,
ahead.
though, even though they were low. But
They're pretty good though.
but it's all about
I'm gonna go 2.9.
it's
2.9.
it's baseball season
Not quite.
coming, right?
Yeah, it
Right,
is.
you got to
So-
prepare.
So we do our little segment. We play cornhole, and I play pickleball. And Ted, talk about our cornhole
I don't want to talk about
experience last night.
I don't want to talk about it.
He's traumatized.
So yeah, week 2 at the new location. We were at Full House Brewing. Great spot, and it's very cool. And the brewery itself, they have a nice outdoor area. It's a nice flat parking lot.
They still
to
have
play.
those signs that you could take with you. They seal
Yes,
up.
yeah. There's big blue ones. If
Yeah.
you win the league, you get to put your beer in that sign. They keep it there, and then
Beautiful.
so you walk around like you're the shit,
Right.
with these signs. Well, first week we got demolished by an ex-champ. She had the sign. Yesterday we ran into a little bit of a rival of ours. We've run into these guys several times. I didn't even know they were playing in this league, so we went up there. Yeah, the conditions weren't optimal yesterday. It was a bit windy, a bit breezy, right? You know, sometimes this way, sometimes this way.
That wind, that gust gets you.
Maybe very blustery conditions.
I think you hit the board maybe 50%.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm usually.
And he's pretty good.
I'm usually a pretty good player. Yeah, really struggled. But the guy at my end struggled too. I think we were both kind of fighting it. But I got to give him credit, right? We lost, but he was our rock star yesterday. Yeah. Jason didn't bat an eye at the conditions.
The wind doesn't bother him.
And he was just doing his thing, rocking and rolling.
You play cornhole?
I haven't played it in a while. Yeah.
So I throw really low, so those conditions don't necessarily mess with me.
I do too. When I throw, I kind of throw.
I throw low and fast.
So we lost 0-2. Now we're 0-2 on the season.
We're advanced. So we're typically like intermediate plus. So
we're running the gamut the next couple of weeks. I checked the schedule. The teams we were talking about yesterday.
Well, now the pressure's on.
Yeah, we might.
We'll see. Yeah. You ever play pickleball?
I'm afraid to play because I play basketball with my son in the driveway and I'm having a real hard time beating him now. My worst fear is I'm going to play that and blow off my
snap something. Yeah.
Yeah. I have this fear of, because I've tweaked it in the past and I'm like, if I start doing this lateral movement, that's all I need. Is that thing to roll up? I mean, then I'll gain about 70 pounds because I'll be completely inactive.
So
I'll be eating cans of those peanuts at a time.
Yeah. So I've been playing pickleball for about a year and a half now. Just over there. We played a little bit in COVID, and then we didn't play for years. So I'm on an Alta team, and we had our match here. And I was on the IR. My knee was blown up for like arthritis. It was bad. So we played a really nice team. One of the women there, I think Amber, remembered me from the Ackworth Beer Festival.
Oh, really?
No kidding. Yeah, it's cute as a button. But we throttled them. Really? I mean, I was on the men's line. We figured out we're going to throw the men's line.
There's a whole strategy for this. I'm hearing this more and more now.
Because we have really good women, and our men are good, but we're not that good against a number one men's line. Gotcha. So we got 1 point, but the rest we swept. So we got 10 out of 12. So it puts us right third place right now, and I think we may make if we stay in third, we're in the playoffs. The guys we played were pretty good. We should have won the first game, Bill and I.
Yeah.
But we got our asses kicked the last game. So
does it ever get like physical? You like start with the guy?
there's some shit being talked.
Gotcha.
The calls,
especially the ones like
is it self? It's self.
Yeah,
right.
And then every once in a while we're like, come on, and then the next time that happens, well, that was out.
Yeah.
Like, even though it might have been. I mean, we don't do that too often, but yeah, I mean it can. And sometimes, like if we're getting crushed, I just try to hit them in the body, just because I'm so aggravated with them. But yeah, we do it more for social. We got 21 people on our team.
Yeah, if you pops while you play, or
both.
Your good days, of course.
Yeah. So, but it was fun. It's fun. You know, as you get older, you got to keep doing it. Like I love to play basketball. That I'm more worried about than pickleball.
Trust me.
You jump. I mean, but with hoops, you can just stick in the corner and just jack up threes.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to.
Well, I play defense.
Well,
I love to play defense.
And my son will be like, come on, you're not trying. Come on, because I'll give him a couple. Yeah, I'll be 58 years old. He's going to be 16.
Yeah.
He plays AAU. He's obviously, he could play. I gotta pick my spots.
You're right.
I can't play hard all the time.
Yeah, I understand. My son is 23 now, and there's some things he's close to beating me at.
Yeah.
He's beating us at Golden Tee.
What happened to golf like this past weekend?
Oh, I played like shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, do you play golf?
I got to start playing again. I want to start getting into
You
it.
should get on a rotation then. I mean, you live right down the road.
Yeah.
Usually play like cobblestone.
Yeah.
Or we like to go play Legacy because it's just we didn't finish that round. 3 hours.
See, that's what I like. Just
get
it done.
There's a couple par fours to work on it, but short game, right? So it's getting that time of the year.
And it's the same amount of enjoyment for me, right? Probably more.
Well, you're better.
Yeah.
Your short game's better on that course than most people, right? I mean,
But I'm saying I still get to drink like 6 beers, right?
6.
Get out and okay. 6-ish.
Yeah.
Ish. Yeah.
9.
Yeah. Right.
10.
So when you do those remotes at the golf courses, you get to play?
No, we're kind of there just promoting it. I mean, a lot of times guys will play, but the problem with us is our show is 10 to 2 now, so we're kind of like right in the middle of the day. So even if it's like a later shotgun start, we're still we're on the air at noon.
What time do you get? So when you go to 2, what time do you get home?
Usually I'm back around here, so we work in the Battery. So if we're working in studio, I'm usually back here by about 2:45.
Oh, so you could definitely play, later in the afternoon. And the good thing is you don't have to get up super early. Like that more. You guys did that years ago. That
Have you always been at the Battery? No, obviously.
No,
You were downtown, right?
Yeah, we were in Buckhead back
Okay, yeah.
790. We were in Buckhead, and then we were at 680 prior to moving to the Battery. We were in that Haverty's building off of Glenridge.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Springfield.
Yeah, so now it's we're right there next to the rocks.
That place is nice. So Freebird Water, you guys are doing stuff.
Yeah,
with
the
that?
tailgate. There, we got the big tailgate on Friday night.
So I'm I'm helping those guys.
Oh, for opening night. I'm for opening information. Oh,
I'll be there with them.
Yeah,
So
sweet.
I think we put a cooler in there in the
Uh-huh.
office. So I think we're doing a lot of events with you.
Nice.
You guys.
Fly, Freebird.
It's a pretty cool can, isn't it?
Yeah,
Free
I like
bird. Yeah.
Yeah. So
What is it? It's just water.
Yeah.
it's water. It's from North Georgia.
Yeah.
It's a 19.2 ounce.
Mhm.
Got a kick-ass eagle on it.
Yep.
It's it's all about
You're reselling it. I mean, what?
I'm consulting with
You're a consultant.
Look at them, yeah. Cool. So
Yeah.
they're good people. Jay Williams is a good dude. All right, so we have a little NFL news today.
We did.
Who would have thought Russell Wilson would be at the Giants?
So you got Russell Wilson and you got Jameis Winston
It's crazy. I don't
and Tommy
understand that.
DeVito. It's like Beavis and Butthead.
Wait, they got Winston and DeVito, and that's right. Winston just signed recently.
Like
Yeah.
a week ago. Yeah.
So who's the starter?
But
that's-
Wilson.
But that's what's crazy. I thought they were signing him to be the starter.
Winston, yeah.
Yeah, Winston. I'm like,
So
oh,
they, at 3, they may still draft Shador Sanders.
Yeah.
So
What do you think about him?
I mean,
He's who it.
he's not doing this kid any favors. I mean, he's done well. He's never played behind an offensive line. So, I mean, if I'm choosing between him and Cam Ward, it's Cam Ward hands down.
No doubt. Yeah.
But after that, I think this class of quarterbacks,
Oh, it's complete toss.
it's one of the weakest ones.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't mean it can't be good down the road. Yeah, I mean, who's Pittsburgh?
They don't have one.
Not-
yeah,
yeah.
most likely going to be Aaron Rodgers. But
I mean,
he's
I
there
would
for
have
6
thought
hours the other day.
I
He
know.
wasn't signed.
and
What the hell is he doing?
walked out without a contract. So
Yeah.
I think that they just didn't want to offer him the long term. That he's probably looking for a 2-year, 3-year, and they were going to give him one.
Yeah.
And now he's just going to kind of wait it out and see what happens when the Steelers. Because I don't know that they're gonna. And they're at 21. They pick at 21. They'd have to trade up to get anybody.
And they don't have a 2nd-round pick either.
No,
Thing.
no, that went for DK, right?
So it'll be tougher for them to
Exactly, right. So, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I think they're going to probably end up with him. He'll settle for a 1 year. It might be later, this year. But yeah, right now it's Mason Rudolph
Why not
and Skylar Thompson. Those are
Why
the
not?
quarterbacks
Why
on the
not
roster.
Kirk Cousins after the draft?
That's what he's waiting for.
Yeah.
He's waiting for after the draft because
That would be a good situation for him
Yeah.
if he's actually healthy.
Honestly, I think I'd rather have him than Rodgers. And not that I don't like the Rodgers game. There's so much baggage there, and he's fragile. He gets hurt all the time. He's coming off, 2 years ago with the Achilles, and he was nicked up last year. He had some
41.
He's 41. He had some pretty decent games down the stretch last year, but first half of the year he was just horrendous. Now, granted, it's the Jets, right? But I don't know. I don't trust that that's going to do anything other than just be a placeholder until they figure something out the following year. But what's the quarterback situation look like in the draft for 2026? I don't know. Is it any better than it is? Should they go after Jackson Dart? Should they trade up and try to get one of these other quarterbacks?
Jackson Dart might be more ready.
Or are they going to wait? Are they going to wait for the kid from Ohio State in like round 2 or 3?
Will Howard.
Yeah, Will Howard. So I don't know.
I hear Milrow maybe.
Yeah, you're hearing that. And you keep hearing a whole bunch. It's rumor mill central, right? I don't know what's
They
going
had
to happen.
dinner with him, and I guess everybody but Arthur Smith was there. So
Yeah.
they didn't want to bring the room down.
Arthur's here.
Nice.
Yes. So Smith, obviously, here. And then he goes over there and I'm like, good luck.
Yeah.
Arthur Smith. I think Arthur Smith could actually be a head coach again. He just can't coach the offense anymore. I think he probably is a good motivator and this and that.
He's living off that.
You talk to him, right?
He's a rich kid. He's got the FedEx money.
Yeah.
And I think when you have that kind of money, it can't help but change your thought process. And I also think that he's living off that year when he had Ryan Tannehill
Yep.
play out of his mind.
Yep.
He had the best running back.
He got Derrick Henry.
I think he
He,
would.
he keeps living off that 1 year.
Yeah.
And that's what I keep saying to everybody, But we'll see what happens with Kirk Cousins. I don't actually. I think they should just keep him. Screw it. Don't trade him. Because look, Penix, I love him. I think he has a good good future. But what if he gets hurt?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got that history. And look at the last couple seasons. These NFL teams are getting quarterbacks are getting beaten up.
Yep.
Like what did the Dolphins? Who they sign as their backup?
What's the kid's name? Zach Wilson.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. Yeah. The BYU/Jets.
Yeah.
The kid who was
I mean,
banging his mom's buddy, right?
He's got a real hot
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Tua, I love him, but the likelihood he's probably going to get
Yeah,
hurts
he always does.
I'm not sure he should be playing anymore, to be honest with you.
When you start taking that boxer stance, the pugilistic stance, you know, when you're getting concussions like that, that's
How many concussions have you had when you played football?
one that I know of, but I mean, I probably have had, you know, tons more. I mean, I know that I had one that I didn't say to anybody. I got blasted. I was on the wedge on a kickoff, and if you've ever been on a kick return team, you can kind of understand.
That's nuts. Yeah.
I mean, you're peeling. I mean, think about this. You're peeling back 15 to 20 yards, and you're waiting, and you see the guy coming at you, and you're waiting. You know he's got a running start, but you have to hit him.
Yeah.
I got blasted one time in my sophomore year. I didn't know where I was.
That sounds like Braveheart, man.
I didn't know where I was for a good 5 minutes. I just kind of stumbled to the sidelines.
It's not on here. So what was one of the worst interviews you've ever had with somebody that just went shit right out of the gate and you didn't know how to get out of it, but you did it?
We had years ago, we had Joan Jett on. So we've got Joan Jett and her handler is on the phone with her, handling. So she's going, we're asking her a question. She's going, what did they say to the handler? And the handler's trying to tell her what we said.
Oh my God.
I mean, I was like, okay, we can't. Sorry, we can't do this. Thanks, Joan.
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
just out of it.
She was completely out of it. And Andrew Jones was on with us one time, and he had like a coughing fit, and he just kept coughing and clearing his throat and coughing, and it was a bad connection. And I was like,
What about what is Snit cool?
Sid's a great guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he seems like it. Like,
I'll tell you a good story about Snit. We went to a couple of years ago. We went to Austin Riley's charity event, and all the players came. Snit was there to support him, and Nico was probably 9 or 10 at the time, maybe a little bit older. But he had this Brave shirt on, like this Hawaiian style Brave shirt on. And I said, hey, Snit, can Nico take a picture with him? He's like, sure. And like he goes, come here. And he like fixed Nico's collar. Like he's a grandfather, you know.
Sure,
So it's like he's used to having grandkids. He's a really good guy.
Yeah.
Really good guy.
He's a West Cobber.
Yeah.
He's over here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, he's over here.
Yeah. People see him in the store. He came to Hillgrove a couple times. Talked to
He's
baseball team. So yeah.
Hard before, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a really decent guy.
How many more years do you have on this deal?
One more. I think he's going to retire after
Yeah.
this year. He'll still have a place in the organization, but I
Yeah.
don't think he'll be the manager anymore.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of surprised. I mean, I think he's done a great job, but kind of surprised he's been in here as long as he has.
You know, and this was the first time really when he got the contract extension when they won the World Series. That was the first time he really got paid. So I can understand him, you know, wanting to. He loves his grandkids. He loves spending time with his grandkids.
Sure.
And I think he wants to do that, but by the same token, you know, this is a lot of money.
So who's next in line?
I will say this: we just had him on the show. I would love to see Mark DeRosa get a shot.
Love Mark.
And it's personal for me because I do love the guy. I've known him since he played here.
He's a good dude.
Really good dude. And he wants to manage. I would love to see him get a shot to manage. Love it.
No chipper, right?
He doesn't want to do it. He, you know, he's got a young family. I think he enjoys kind of working at his own pace.
Yeah.
You know, he likes showing up when he wants to show up, and but you know, being on the road and all that stuff, I don't think that's
Too much.
But those are cool. Those events they do with the 4 guys in the room. Well, how many times did they do that last year? 3 or 4?
Yeah, they usually do it a couple of times.
Yeah, those were really cool. Those are enjoyable games to watch and get their input.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that. I got to meet Paul Bird about a week and a half ago. He was a really good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I know he had some family issues. I think his wife had some health issues. That's why he kind of stepped in.
He stepped in for like a year.
Yeah. But yeah, he gave us a nice tour. We had a corporate event over there, and
They're solid. You know, there's not a lot of bad people in that organization.
Yeah.
You know, they're kind of like the anti-Falcons.
Oh, don't bring that up. Good Lord.
I mean, you name it, the Falcons do it wrong.
Really? Yeah.
You know,
They've really.
cheap concessions.
That's true.
Yeah.
That
Do
is
that
true.
right.
That's not something. Wow.
Hey, look, you got to start somewhere, man.
That is a very
You
good
know?
point.
I get cheap beer and like 4 hot dogs,
Yeah.
you know, for $20, and I get change back.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know.
if they draft some shiny toy, I'm gonna be so pissed.
I'm my biggest worry is they're going to draft that with Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M because he's got, you know, he impresses at the combine. The guy had a sack and a half last year.
Yeah.
How can you look?
But that would be a total
Yeah.
Atlanta,
Yeah.
right?
Because he looks good coming off the bus.
No
Yeah.
doubt.
Yeah.
We haven't had a
Fills out the jersey.
I don't even
Yeah.
count Beasley because
Another guy hated playing football.
that was a.
Nice man.
Yeah.
Didn't love football.
Yeah.
We haven't had a guy on the defensive end since really. I mean, Abraham was free agent, but Patrick Curry.
Yeah. Starts drafting a guy. You're right.
I mean,
So is that their number one need?
defensive end?
Yeah.
They probably should get a lineman as well.
Linebacker,
They need a linebacker.
corner.
Because their center's gone now, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not. I think they're gonna be okay. But if there's a center available, they probably should draft in the second, third round.
Yeah.
Just to have them be ready. Grady went. But Grady played 43% of the snaps. I think I might have heard it from one of you guys' show. I mean, you can't pay him that much money. And and I love him, Mr. Falcon. He had a nice career. Dahlman, they could have paid him. They were the Falcons are in the same fucking position almost like they were with the Matt Ryan, the Julio Jones, and all that.
Just restructured Terrell and Lindstrom to save what I think.
But
That's
shit,
what they have to do.
They can't do anything.
Nope.
They can't do a damn thing.
Nope.
All that money goes to for the draft.
Yep.
So this team, even if Kirk Cousins would have been the starter still, maybe they made the playoffs. They still really couldn't make a lot of moves anyway.
No.
No.
But I mean,
they can find somebody on kick the ball this year, right? I mean,
well, I'm sure.
How many of those did he miss last year?
Who's still here?
He's still here, yeah. And then the guy. Here's the thing: I don't care what they say. They knew Cousins was hurt. They knew Cobb was hurt. And Riley Patterson. I mean, this is what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Terrible.
Then Raheem Morris.
Well, wait. What did you say we should have got for a kicker?
Well, both the George kickers were Goggles, right? He was home.
Yeah.
And then the kid who was there after him.
Mm-hmm.
They had two local Georgia kids who were still working out.
Yeah.
And would probably, add some, an uptick, right?
It's just so odd their lack of a relationship
With Georgia. I don't get it. Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Why I go crazy? Draft SEC.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got Alabama. You got good players in Auburn. A&M's got good. LSU. I mean, Georgia. I mean, they're pumping out NFL starters, and they don't fucking draft them.
They take these projects. Troy Anderson. We're going to take a guy that was a quarterback who's converted to linebacker and try. He has no. I don't care how fast and physical you are, how well you
You
test.
sound like Dan Quinn.
If you don't have linebacker instincts, you can't play the position. And he can't. He's got no instincts. He can't read play. So it doesn't matter how big and strong and fast you are. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Go back to the Braves. Did you go to any spring training this year?
We were down there. We always go down the first week before they start playing games. So we spent a week down there every year. So we got to kind of be around a lot of the guys. We had a lot of time we spent with Snicker and Spencer Strider, who, obviously is chomping at the bit to go.
So what's he coming? Maybe May?
I think he's going to be back before that. He's going to do.
I haven't seen.
They put 6 guys on the DL today, but retroactive to the 20th. So that would put them like a week or 8 or 9 days.
I think Strider's going to be back in the middle of the month.
Yeah,
I know his first outing he was just lights out,
and then he got squeezed on a strike call and gave up a home run, but he still feels good. I think he's going to do a rehab start over the weekend, and he may be back after another start or two. They may put him in that rotation.
As Ronald May.
He's passing all the tests. It's funny with him because they said initially the end of May, and now they're saying maybe the beginning of May. Like the Dodgers are here on May the 2nd. He may be in the lineup for the Dodgers.
That's sweet. I just want him to follow it down.
Yeah, and he says he's going to, but even Alex, I'll believe that when I see it.
Yeah. Right. Who's gonna catch? Which one of these guys is the guy until Murphy gets back?
Listen, I don't trust Murphy. I hope Baldwin does well.
Yeah.
And I just look, Alex. This one was a swing and miss. You got rid of Contreras.
Yeah.
And
you're feeding right into his madness here. You just confirmed what I said a couple of weeks
ago. You blew it. I mean, it's a bad trade.
And he's made more positive things than negative. But,
sure.
But dude, he's an all-star. He's like one of the best catchers in baseball.
And again, you got Chris Sale for Vaughn Grissom, and you've made some smart moves. I understand that. No one's going to bat 1,000. That one was a miss. Then you sign him to the extension.
Yeah.
Top of it all.
I know. That pissed me off. Is Swellenbacher the guy? He looks like he's pitching.
I mean, everybody says he is. I mean, everybody says mentally he is. I always worry about young pitchers staying healthy, but from a mental standpoint, no, he's the real deal, man. He certainly is.
Is Kimbrel in the AAA?
Yeah.
Do you think he'll come up?
What do you tell Dave O'Brien, the beat reporter from The Athletic? He said that, he kind of intimated last year he hurt his back, so he couldn't get any drive out of his legs. So
in the second half of the year?
Yeah, that's the reason.
Because he was pitching well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pitching really well.
Well, he had a great line. He said, if I'm going to blow saves, I'd rather blow my hometown team than somewhere else. Right. So I think he's happy to be back.
We're going to find out.
That's the only thing I worry about is the bullpen.
They're piecemealing that bullpen. There's no doubt.
And they might have to move some of the...
They got Jesse back, man.
Yeah. He just keeps coming back.
But you know what?
Yeah.
For some reason, that guy plays great.
He balls here, man. I love him.
He'll be in. He'll be pitching.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So, we'll see. We do a thing with... How many wins do you think they're going to have?
He's 6.
Bam!
Yeah.
Wow, that's higher than...
I had 95.
Yeah, there you go.
I think
They
so.
stay healthy. I can see why.
I think that pitching lineup is solid to very solid, right? You get Acuna back. That lineup is just incredible to me. What's the story with Profar's wrist? Is he
He's fine.
Yeah,
He's back in the lineup.
Okay, good.
If Olsen gets back to his other swing, because
Right.
you know he kind of messed it up. I mean, he started hitting better in back, last 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I think this is the year that Austin Riley, if he stays healthy,
MVP.
is the MVP.
Yeah.
I think the kid is. I think he's. I mean, I think Ronald's amazing. I think Riley is one of the best players in baseball.
Yeah. And
he started hitting the ball really well until he got hurt. I mean, it's
He's like 23, man. 23 years old.
Oh, that dude, I'm thinking is going to have another big breakout.
Yeah.
This guy stay on the field.
right.
Yep.
I mean, he's shown
Got to
that,
stay healthy.
and it can't be as bad as last year, right?
Knock on wood is right. It
I
can't.
mean, that might have been the best managing job.
Yeah.
Bob Cox did some really good jobs, but
Yeah.
it might have been the best managing job last
Yeah.
year because of all the injuries. No
Yeah.
one even thought the Braves would have a chance.
You had Ursula playing third base. You had Moriano playing in the outfield.
Yep.
Kelnick had to play full time. Yeah, it was a mess.
So how's our big Ozuna? Is he a good dude?
Yeah. I mean, the reason he stuck around through all this is because the players love him. They love.
It seems like he's just like
Oh.
a good dude.
Yeah.
Maybe not throwing a dish or something.
Yeah,
So,
so dish,
listen,
right.
we've all been in bad relationships.
That's it.
He's still with her, right?
Oh no.
Oh, they're done. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. All right, Marcel.
And after that, yeah.
Love you even more now.
They went their separate ways after that one.
Oh, damn. Well, you say 96 went 88.
I said 95.
So
yeah,
it's a tough division.
Yeah.
it is.
I mean,
I don't know if 96 or 95 or 96 is going to win the division, but it's certainly going to be
I think
Second
92
place.
wins it because I think the Phillies, the Mets, and the Braves are going to just
beat up on each other.
We'll see if I don't trust the Mets pitching.
No.
We'll see what they have.
The Mets are the Mets. They're just
And there's some.
They're always.
They got Soto and the Alonso's back there. There's some holes in that lineup.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I mean,
They managed to fuck it up
Yeah.
all the time.
And they are the Mets. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
They'll
it
figure
could
it out.
happen to a better franchise.
Metropolitans. Yeah.
I mean, when Chipper names his kid
Yeah.
Shay. All right, so we're wrapping up here. We got 5 questions, young man. Number 1, what's on your bucket list that you haven't done?
I've never been to the Masters.
Wow.
That's on my bucket list.
Are you going?
Never been to Augusta.
Yeah.
I'm not going this year, as far as I know, but definitely that is the one thing I want to.
I might be going.
Really?
Yes, I might.
Everybody says it looks fake. When you're there,
It
it
is.
looks like it looks
Yeah.
on TV. It doesn't look real.
No, it
It
doesn't.
is-
The green is so green. It's like they get this is spray paint, right?
Yeah.
The minute you get like from the parking lot onto the first step of grass. I mean, the parking lot grass is
Right.
that green. You're like,
Yeah.
what the hell's going on here? This can't possibly be real.
They treat everybody like they're a king, and the food is reasonable, the drinks are reasonable. The best thing is put your cell phone locked up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the best thing. You actually enjoy the moment, what's going on.
Yeah.
We're
Par 3. If you can get to the par 3,
That's where I might be going is on the par
Wednesday.
And that's what I want to do. I actually want to be there for like a practice round. Or
I think it's better now. Granted, I've been in the rounds where I went the final round like follow one. I actually followed him around,
Right.
but it's just the crowd, and it's like if you don't like crowds, it's not a place to go.
Yeah, that's why the practice rounds were. I've never been to the real rounds, but
Practice rounds are a job.
Yeah, because you can, again, unless you're following Tiger or somebody, they're going to have a big crowd. But the rest of that, if you just kind of avoid all that nonsense, you can walk around there like
That's
you're
right.
the place. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I like the majors because the guys from the Live Tour are playing most of them, most of the good ones. So
Although I've been watching a lot of golf. I'm still, to me, I've checked out with those guys. Like if they're there, they're there. If they're not, I'm still going to watch it.
You're not alone based on the numbers.
Yeah, and the play.
watching Live.
Nobody.
Yeah, the play is still top quality. I can't, I don't think they've lost anything, right? And I think there's a lot of young players that I'm like, now they're getting their opportunity. That guys that may not have with some of the veterans that were if they hung around here. So
Wow,
more power to them. I like it.
the Masters. Wow,
No.
who would have thought?
No.
What's the favorite place you've ever visited?
Oh man, favorite place I've ever visited. That's a tough one. I think I got to go with Chicago. It's not the best answer in the world because I will tell you,
Good town.
I've never had a bad meal. I've been to Chicago 10 times.
Yeah.
Never had a bad meal in Chicago.
Been to Wrigley, I assume.
You have been to Wrigley.
I have
been,
not,
been
yeah.
to the old Comiskey Park.
Yeah.
It's night and day comparing those two.
Yeah.
A lot of angry people. at the old Comiskey Park. But everybody,
Especially these days.
yeah, aside from the south side of Chicago, everybody is great in that town.
Yeah.
It's a friendly, big town.
The White Sox team's not bad. Solid.
Yeah.
My daughter lives in Chicago, so I've been up there. I've been there many times.
It's not a great product these days. The White Sox.
No.
And I saw that they dropped or they released a guy yesterday that was hit like 345 with 4 bombs, in spring training. And I'm like,
They deserve everything.
yeah, what are you doing here, right?
It's like a real life major league.
Yeah. Did he murder somebody? What's going on, right?
But yeah, I love Chicago.
I'm going up there in June. Probably gonna
That's the best time of the year to go up.
because it's not too high.
Right.
It's just now
Get
getting
that
like
breeze off the lake.
Nice.
Yeah.
Number 3, person you would like to have a drink with, dead or alive.
Dead or alive, person I would love to have a drink with. Paul McCartney. I just want to sit there and shoot the breeze. I would love to just sit there and listen to him and John Lennon tell stories at the bar. I'm a huge Beatles fan.
Sure.
So I would just sit there and just listen to them.
Love
Talk
the
about how they
Beatles.
wrote songs, how
Solid
they
choice.
stuff. Yeah.
That's a
Love
good
the
one.
Beatles. I love them even as I get older.
Yeah.
And that music still
It's timeless.
transcends
Yeah.
today.
You think about, I mean, you know what they did in like six and a half years. It's incredible. It's unheard of.
Never gonna happen.
No.
No. Well, now it's different too. Like they don't do albums. The albums are this streaming. They make no money on streaming.
Right.
So if the right record company backs them or whoever, they get on tour, and that's how they make their money now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think someone was telling me they make like 0.05 cents or something like Spotify.
I don't understand how anybody's making any money. It's great for us, right? The consumer, but how does the artist make money? You know? Yeah, it's a tour.
I kind of miss though, like putting a record on every once in a while.
Yeah, like a start to finish, a theme to a record. Yeah. What a novel concept.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm yelling at clouds again.
Yeah.
Get off my lawn.
4 favorite TV show.
Favorite TV show of all time has to be the Andy Griffith Show.
wow,
Because
love me some Andy Griffith.
it's brilliant.
It's
I mean,
wholesome too at the same time.
and it's got to be when Don Knotts is still on the show. Once he left, it's a different show.
Yeah.
It's just brilliant writing. Even though, if you think about it, aside from Andy, just about everybody on that show should have been institutionalized.
Yeah, right.
At one time or another. But no, just
I mean,
fabulous.
how about Otis in the jail opening last night?
Yeah.
That was like a elementary school sick day.
Yeah.
Like you watch that, Gilligan's Island.
Yep.
you know,
PBS.
Price is
PBS.
Right, and Andy Griffith for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Solid. I like it.
Good. And I like Matlock when he took over. You know, Andy Griffith was a good dude. I don't know. I don't watch the new Matlock. Before we jump to that, are you watching anything on streaming? You watch TV?
I stopped for a while and I'm catching up with it. Actually, I just finished it today. I just finished watching Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Just
I like
finished
that.
the
Yeah.
whole thing.
It's goofy, but
Yeah, you know, it's
we grew up with that.
right.
So,
It's meant for people our age.
Yeah, sure.
You get everything they do, and I thought the way they wrapped it up was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now there's a new movie, Karate Kid, coming out with him doing some other, like someone in age.
I'm wondering if they're going to try to spin off some of the other characters.
I think they will.
Yeah.
I mean, there's too much money to be made to not try, I suppose.
Well, I think the ratings were great.
Yeah.
Last but not least, is it me?
Yeah, it's you,
All right.
bud.
This is probably gonna be tough. Your most memorable sports moment. Either you were there, you watched it, whatever.
It's not a good one. It changed me as a fan
Here it comes.
forever. It's 1986, the
Oh.
86 playoffs. I'm a sophomore in college. Brian Brennan catches a touchdown, and I'm thinking to myself, holy smokes, the Browns are going to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ensuing kickoff is at the 2 yard.
Yeah.
Tom
The
Jackson-
drive. The
yeah.
drive.
Tom Jackson was on the kick return team, of ESPN fame, and I had a chance to talk to him. I said, "What were you thinking?" He said, "Well, I remember standing at the 2 yard line, and the field crowned. I'm looking at the crowd's going crazy. I'm looking, and I look at the crowd, and I'm thinking, there's no effing way we're winning this game. 3rd and 16,
Yep.
3rd and 18,
Mm-hmm.
and then after they tie the game, the Browns, they get the ensuing kickoff to start overtime. They run a draw play on 3rd and 2 to a guy that didn't run the ball all year.
Yes.
Kevin Fontenot.
I remember.
Yeah.
He gets stuffed. Broncos get the ball back. I still think Rich Carlos missed that field goal, but they called it good, and that's it. It changed me forever as a fan. I was never the same after that.
Better.
Scarred me for life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's my version of 28-3, I suppose.
That was his last week. Yeah,
Yeah.
we talked about it for the second or third time on the podcast.
Yeah.
So
It's amazing. You remember the bad ones more than you remember the good ones. Like, being a Cleveland fan, the only team I still root for is really Ohio State. I kind of root for the Cavs. Since they changed the name of the Guardians, it's not the same. And the Browns, since they moved and came back, it's not the same. But LeBron's blocking against Golden State was pretty incredible as well. But it's,
Yeah.
the Ohio State national titles are great, but you remember the bad ones. To me, maybe that's just how I'm wired. I remember the bad ones more than the good ones.
Going back to 28-3, Falcons had that chance. Julio makes the greatest catch no one's ever going to remember.
Yep, absolutely. It's like when you guys Alabama, when you beat Georgia, Blankenship, it's like what, a 49, 50-yard field goal.
Yeah.
No one's ever going to remember that clutch kick because
No.
of the touchdown that Tua threw after that.
Mhm.
Yeah, to Devontae Smith.
Yeah, to Devontae.
I said that this past weekend
Yeah.
when the kid hit the 3-pointer, and then before Maryland came
Right,
down,
right.
I said to my son, I go, that's going to be the best shot in school history. That wasn't. No one's ever going to remember that kid. Love. Right?
Yeah.
Love hits the 3-pointer with 6 seconds left, and I was like, wow. And then, Queen comes down and hits the travels and banks it in.
Yeah, I'm a jaded Atlanta fan overall. The Braves have given me some solace, but I feel like they should have won more. The Hawks are been a total disappointment. The owner they got rid of the old ownership, and I think the new ownership's worse.
It's not good. I'm not really sure what Tony Ressler's doing.
And
His kid calling some shots too, and I don't know if that should.
And the Falcons, it's just they can't get out of their way. They've had some good runs.
Yeah.
They just couldn't get over the top. I mean, I do have some good memories of the Falcons. When they beat the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs in the Dome, we had Mike Kent sitting behind them.
They blew them out. The game.
I mean, it was like, but there was like, I do have great moments. But that I was at that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't want to rehash it. It was the highest high and the lowest low I've ever had as a sports fan.
He FaceTimed me at halftime. Boy, we were
like, oh my God,
wild up.
No doubt.
Yeah.
You know.
It's over.
And they have, and I give them credit. They went to the playoffs next year, and they actually should have beat the Eagles.
Yeah.
But they really haven't recovered.
No.
I mean, and poor Arthur Blank, he's just getting older and older, and I think it's just desperation.
Yeah, the clock's ticking, and he's afraid to make moves, and it's definitely.
I wish he'd just stay away. So. All right, we are going to wrap it up. Nick, thanks so much, brother.
My pleasure, man. It's great.
Thanks, man. It was awesome.
We got to go to Monkey Barrel and drink it.
Hell yeah!
Shameless plug. You play both the teams.
Yes, it's. I just said that on the way out. I was like, Chris, like, who was this guy? And I was like, from the radio. I said, we hung out at Monkey Bar. She's like, oh yeah, I guess you told me that. I was like, that's his spot, evidently.
Yeah.
I hadn't been there until that night.
It's by Safe Space.
Yes, safe space. Yeah, I like it.
Ted, what do?
We drink,
We snack,
and we repeat.
Check us out on Instagram, the Cobb Fathers. I'm supposed to plug that moving forward.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week. Adios. All right. Good job.